However,
real passionate. Yeah.
I know that the city of New York and the Yankees fans within it feel certainly quite passionate about the Yankees lineup and their lack of formidability at the current point in time. Last night, they've rolled out Jahmai Jones, DH leadoff hitter, and JD Davis, 4-hole cleanup man. Okay. Jahmai Jones, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, JD Davis, kind of the equivalent of the Bugatti in the crummy garage meme, or like the clowns lining up to burst into the soldiers with the clowns running into the thing. Respect to Jahmai Jones, he's been an admirable bench guy, and he's still on the roster, which is amazing. He should not be DHing or leading off for the New York Yankees in 2024 when they're trying to be good. Simple as, right? Respectfully. Same thing with JD Davis hitting fourth. Like, oh, wow. I can't believe that Aaron Judge was walked 4 times last night. 4 times. I wonder if it has anything to do with JD Davis hitting right behind him. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I would say probably contributed to that. And this is kind of where they're at, and we've seen this already. Juan Soto himself said earlier this week that the Yankees cannot go to the World Series because of 2 guys. They need more than 2 guys to go to the World Series. Who do you think he was talking about? Do we know? Do we have any idea?
Yeah, the other guy.
Yeah, we probably talking about
I think
himself and Carlos Narvaez. Probably not.
Yeah.
So I would just say that, last year at this time for the Yankees, it was pretty clear that they were just not good, and they acted accordingly at the deadline. They did nothing. Now, that pissed off a lot of Yankees fans, and I understand why, because at that point, it was still like, how could you possibly punt on any season where the Yankees? But Brian Cashman told us last year, I don't believe in this team. And he was right. They were not good, and they did not deserve further investment. However, this year, we are still talking about a team, as horrible as they've looked, that has the best run differential in the American League, still has a very, very impressive pitching staff. And with Soto and Judge, that is still, if you are going to have 2 hitters, those are still 2 good hitters to start with, as bad as everything else is. And so with that in mind, there is no sitting around and doing nothing this week. I do not think that will happen. But with this many just huge problems on the offensive side, I am fascinated to see where they pick and choose to actively address something, because I don't think they're going to be, there's just not enough players out there available for them to fix all of these things. I know they're going to have some guys coming back. Stanton, I think, is maybe coming back pretty soon, which is good. Jason Dominguez maybe could also be back soon and maybe could help, but they're not going to be able to fix everything. So they're going to have to be very, very, very direct and intentional about which spots they say this needs fixed as soon as possible.
So it presents a very interesting situation, because everything but Judge and Soto's pretty uninspiring.
Yeah.
And so you can improve in a lot of areas, right? You could go get an infielder, or you go get out. You could do a lot of different things, but they have these guys who are relatively like entrenched, where you're going to have to bench DJ LeMahieu or Gleyber Torres or Alex Verdugo. You're going to have to take someone who is expecting to play every day, maybe not someone who deserves to be playing every day, and you're going to have to move them to the bench. It's only going to get more complicated when eventually Anthony Rizzo gets back, and they're going to have to figure out what to do with him, with Ben Rice, who's been playing first base and has looked very good. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
they just need another competent hitter, whether that's Randy Arozarena or Brandon Lau of the Rays, right? They just there needs to be something else here, because, look, I understand JD Davis is only hitting 4th last night because they're facing a left-handed pitcher. I get that. I understand that. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't make a difference to me. You're the New York Yankees. You need to have a more formidable middle of the order if you're trying to win a World Series, and that's the case with them this year. It's that simple.
Yeah. If you had to say right now, we talk about who is not, like, Volpe's not going anywhere. He's shortstop, right? That's honestly like the first thing where I'd be like, that's not changing. Other than that, and I guess the catching situation, I don't really anticipate changing dramatically, right? It's going to be Trevino if he's healthy and Wells, right? Other than that, man, I don't know. I feel like I feel like they could do a lot of things. They could change a lot. And then in theory, right, they want to keep DH open for Stanton. But other than that, I don't know. I think I think everyone else, I think Verdugo, I think LeMahieu, Glaber even. Glaber's some signs of life. I know he homered last night. All of those guys, they might just say, screw it. Don't care how much money you're making. This team is, in theory, too good to just let this roster spot be terrible. And if there is a way to upgrade, we're going to do it. So we'll see.
But Aaron Boots says they're taking good at-bats. I mean, you ask him every night after they lose, and he says they took some good at-bats last night.
He might be right.
You know what I would like?
That doesn't sound like the thing the Yankees fans want to hear.
I want Boone to say, just like, the Yankees fans would love this if Boone just went. I got to say, Alex Verdugo took 3 freaking buns at-bats last night. Like, those were cheeks, those at-bats he took last night.
Scott Service finally did that with the Mariners the other night. He was just like, we gave it away. That was embarrassing, disappointing, terrible. I think we need to say, honestly, right? What is it? Toxic positivity. I don't know if I would go that far with Boone, but it is funny that we're really saying the same things over and over and over and over.